From the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years. Specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
Wow, it's Tuesday. Let's try that again. It's Bob Plass, and I am here October 1st, 2019, and counting, and I'm back. I'm a little shaky today. Or what's the word when you're not shaky, but you're...
Jet-lagged?
Shaky, not jet-lagged, but I'm unused to being on the radio. It's like my first time. So
There used to be a pizza joint called Shakey's. There was a chain.
oh, I remember this.
And that was a cool place to go for pizza when I was a kid, because they had a guy in the corner playing banjo on
That's
a
right.
Friday night. And
That's right.
That
Sure, that was
just
like
a cool
Shoney's
thing.
or something.
No,
No, it was Shakey's, and then it was
Shakey's.
Shoney's, and then in this area it was the Red Gertrude. And guess who was a waiter at the Red Gertrude?
Why
Wet Gertrude.
Why did I bring that up? The Wet Gertrude?
The Wed Gertrude.
Oh.
The Web Gertrude.
Yeah.
No, what is it? The Red Gertrude, right across from the Eastern States Exposition. It had banjos, peanuts on the ground. It was
Yeah, that
modeled
kind of
after
thing.
Shakey's and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
It was
It's
that,
exact-
that's-
Oh,
it
that was the
that
ground round.
What? No, that
No,
was,
no. This was way earlier, Peter. You weren't even a thought in your mother's room.
Hey, did you guys turn on the monitor, Jay? Did you ever turn on the monitor out there?
yeah,
Look
so
at this.
I know how to make it work.
I have a booth cam.
You ought to put it just a little window right up and over us, so that it's like Mr. Cole's
This
overseeing.
this is so good. This is really very, very good. Hey, Jay, let me introduce you. You are Jay Pagluka,
Good
trusty, lusty, crusty, and well-modulated sidekick.
Some mornings more crusty than others.
Oh, my God. Yes. Some mornings we deserve to be crusty.
Yeah, and you're right. We need to be left to be crusty because we deserve a crusty morning.
That's right.
Just
It's
leave me
exactly.
alone.
I'll grant you a crusty morning.
How many of you out there have just
What,
woken up and you just like leave me alone? You don't even want the dog to come up and say
I
hello.
don't know whether it's hormones or genes or what is it that
No, it's
makes
just
that
grumpy.
It's old.
grumpy.
old.
Is it old? Is it age? Well,
It's
then
just old.
I should be grumpy every day. I mean, I should be grumpy every minute.
It's
Darn
how,
you.
It's how you do an outlook on life. It's just like, okay, do I let stuff bother me?
Yeah.
Or just do I let it go? Now, I used to, and I know I've told this story on air before, but I used to have a screensaver that was that picture from the moon as they come over. It was Earthrise.
Oh,
You
I
see
love
the
that
Earth in the
picture. Sure.
distance.
Sure.
And I used to use that as my reference when I had somebody really yelling at me over something.
Yeah.
It's just, look, here we are, this little blue marble in space, and we're just a little spot on that blue marble, and we're pretty darned insignificant if you think about it. Why
You're taking-
should I let small things bother me?
You're taking all this time to give me that much grief.
yeah,
Oh,
right?
oh yeah.
really.
Oh yeah. Is it worth it? Is it worth
No,
it in
it's
the
really
long run?
not.
And in terms of the time that we have to enjoy this great planet, does it really
Wheelie,
well,
wheelie?
is it really important to yell at your friend?
No, it's not.
Mm,
I try to live by the credo of just do your own thing and then everything will be fine.
Don't sweat the petty stuff, and don't pet the sweaty stuff.
I'm
You.
not going to think about that one. I'm
That's
not
a-
exactly sure what it means,
That's an
but it
ew
does
moment.
sound like it deserves a bow wow or
That's-
something.
no,
Woof, woof.
Don't pet the sweaty stuff. Yeah.
Hey, Peter Coles is behind the board.
Good morning, Peter.
Yes. He's not.
I'm in the middle of the screen.
Yeah, look at that. He is the
We can see the Pete.
the oddly operative operator of October.
Let's make one to the kid. The fairly oddly.
The fairly oddly operator of October.
Onerous operator of October.
Onerous operator. No.
The Fairly Odd Parents.
The fairly odd parents. Yes.
Yeah, when my kids were little, they watched
Kenny
that.
Kenny would say odiferous.
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 Yeah.
Gotcha. Well,
that
there
was
you are.
actually that was actually a good, funny program. Yeah.
Fairly odd parents. Yeah,
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah. Hey, Peter
Yes,
and
sir.
and Jay, did you miss me?
Yes, we
Were
did.
you gone?
Actually, one week we had to scrub the program because I, for the first time in God knows how long, overslept.
No, you're kidding me.
No lie.
How
I
in the
slept
world
through
did
2
that
alarms.
ever happen?
I must have been tired and sick or whatever.
I
Yeah.
sat in the parking lot just wondering what happened, and people were coming over to me. Going, "Are you okay?" I says, "Well, I'm waiting for Peter."
Yeah. Did you end up coming in for the 10 o'clock show, or did you sleep
Yes,
right
no,
through
I
until
did.
noon?
I got here around 7 and then put on a best of at 7 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a little bit of dead air that morning.
Oh, my God.
And I must have been, that was the week that I was sick, and I must have just been completely shot. Because I don't ever sleep through alarms.
Here
so.
come the list of excuses.
No, really, I don't sleep through
you
alarms.
Don't. No,
It's not a usual
I don't
thing.
regularly sleep through alarms.
I'm one of those odd people that wake up before the alarm goes off.
Usually I do too.
That's terrible. This morning,
really wrong with that.
yeah. My alarm goes off at 5 a.m. Everyone, if you want to have sympathy for me, 5 a.m.
Mine went off
we
at
don't
4.
have sympathy.
Yeah. Well, I woke up at 4:15. So you've got to have 45 minutes. Now, is 45 minutes enough time to go back to sleep and not be awoken in the middle of a dream?
Probably no, because you're slipping right back into REM at that point.
Yeah, sort of, but I just went right straight through it. Now, since I got back and since I've been jet-lagged, I was in Scotland, everyone.
Jet-lag.
Yeah. Ireland on steroids, I call it. Yeah.
That's because Ireland is beer. Scotland is a little harder liquor.
It's whiskey.
Yes.
And somebody on my trip, I think it was Peter who was the driver for us. Well, my friend. We didn't hire a driver. Peter and Ethel are my friends. That's not Ethel Mertz, incidentally. I know you think that I've been traveling with Ethel Mertz.
I know you're old enough to be traveling with Ethel Mertz. Although I don't think Ethel Mertz would be traveling with you. But
no,
that's a whole different story.
No, that's true. She loved older men, though. No,
that's what I heard.
Yeah, very true. So,
but no, balding older men.
Oh yeah,
if you remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was it Peter or Ethel or James who ordered a Scotch in Scotland? A Scotch
You're
in
supposed
Scotland.
to.
No, you're not. It's whiskey. The reason why we call it's Scotch isn't Scotch whiskey.
Scotch whiskey can only be called Scotch if it comes from Scotland. You can't make it here. You can make whiskey here, but you can't call it. It can taste like Scotch and do the same thing Scotch does, but no, you can't call it Scotch unless it comes from.
Thing Scotch does.
You're right.
Yes.
Well, means get you intoxicated.
Well,
Lots of
that's
things
what
can do that.
Yeah.
So you don't order French fries in France. You order fries in France because they're French already, right? A Dutch door in the Netherlands. You know what a Dutch door is?
It's the up and top and bottom.
Yeah. You don't call it a Dutch door. You call it a door in Holland.
What do you call a Dutch oven in Holland?
You call it an oven because outside of the world, they're the ones that are referring to it as a Dutch.
Turn that around now. What do other people outside America call stuff that we have American something?
Well, look, let me see. You go to a
Chop suey.
No, it has to be sort of like American. The name American has to be in it, the United States. So American pie. But you don't ever, even Americans don't. I like an American pie, please.
I have an apple pie.
Yeah.
What's an American pie?
See, there's nothing. Well, outside there may be in other countries.
Wait a minute.
I know what it is.
Now I'm hungry. I want apple pie with ice cream and whipped cream, and make it and leave the whipped cream can, please.
Oh, of course. It's got to be a can because you need to have that aerosol right beside you every month. Yes, American coffee all throughout England and Ireland and Scotland.
They call something American.
American coffee is on the list for beverages for breakfast
in restaurants. Why?
Right? Yeah. Well, because it's a different kind of way of making coffee. Apparently, they heat
versus
the milk.
The espresso and that kind of thing that you get all the fancy weird stuff you get at Starbucks.
It's exactly right.
Sorry, Mark.
Yeah. No. American coffee. So we're having an American coffee, but I would not order an American coffee in America. So there it is. It's the one thing that I saw on my trip.
Coffee.
American coffee.
All right, go back to World War II and everybody in Europe wanted American cigarettes. right? All right, so that kind of thing. Here it's just
That's
a
right.
cigarette. Or,
That's right.
Well, never mind. I don't want to go there anymore.
So while we were in Scotland, we drank a lot of
drank a lot.
Stout.
Okay.
More
All right.
stout than I drank whiskey because
You wanted to remember what you did while you were there.
it's really true. It's really true. And every restaurant basically has the same menu. Okay, and in Ireland and in Scotland, maybe in England, the pubs all have to sort of. But if you go to a fancier one, but the regular, wonderfully
Bangers and mash.
yeah. Or you can get a steak and kidney pie, or steak and ale pie, or
that sounds good.
for dessert, sticky toffee pudding.
Sticky toffee pudding?
That actually
Is that like
sounds
a caramel,
good.
Doesn't
caramel
that-
thing or
yeah,
something?
Yeah. It's exactly right.
Hey, Jay, look at the monitor.
Yeah. Look at this. Oh, we even have names on channel. How do people see us if they want to see us, Mr. Coles?
WestfieldTV.org
Yeah.
is the streaming part where they can watch you
You
online.
mean we're available worldwide?
And Channel 15 in Westfield and Southwick.
I love it.
Soon to be
love-
coming to Agawam, we hope. We're working on Agawam.
Oh, really?
Yes. How
are
So
we
is there a channel? So there's a channel 15 in Southwick that that we've seen?
That airs all of our shows. Yeah, they simulcast all of our shows.
Wow. And channel 15 in Southwick and at Agawam?
And Channel 15 in Agawam, that we're working on that with our good friend Les Tingley, the new director over there.
That's incredible. So we are now we are
I was going to say
20 miles outside
You're
of
bad,
town.
you're
How far?
nationwide.
We're now practically nationwide.
No,
Yes.
we're worldwide.
Worldwide. Exactly right. My friends in Germany, I think, are watching us right now.
So you
Guten
could
Tag.
say we're television stars.
Personalities. I think stars are right up there. Personalities are.
I see. We're not up there, but we're out there.
What's less than a personality that's on television? What's
A
less
D-lister.
The D-listers. We're the D.
No.
Wasn't that Kathy Griffin
Kathy
that was?
Griffin
That
the
was
was
before
under
she
the
went
D.
crazy.
Well,
Yeah.
all right. So we're not D-listers. We're a step below that. We're E-F-listers. Whatever.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly right. But if we were...
Elementos. We're elementos.
And what if we were in the same
Down the
room with
alphabet.
Jay Leno and everybody and Jimmy Fallon? And,
This is what
and
they'd be
stuff,
saying about us.
They'd
Oh my
be,
God, who the hell cares?
Right.
There are tons of people out there in America that are morning jocks. We're morning jocks. Isn't that what we
Yeah, that's
are?
probably the best description.
I was
Yeah.
never a jock.
Yeah, but wait a minute.
I was
now.
a geek.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, we're morning
I was too.
personalities, I guess, because do jocks play music one after another?
No,
Yeah,
they
that's
play
more Michael
football.
Buster McMahon.
They play football.
Disc jockeys.
Well, speaking
Jay.
of Michael Buster
Why?
McMahon, he brought his beautiful daughter Serenity this weekend.
Serenity. I love that name.
Yeah, she's lovely. She's grown taller than Michael, I think.
You know that she's named after the show from a character from the show
Firefly.
Firefly. Yeah.
Well, it's not a character.
Oh, it's a
the
ship. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Come on.
She's named after
Well,
a ship.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, the ship is kind of a character
It is. Yeah.
in that show.
Oh.
There was a sci-fi show called Firefly, which it had a wonderful cult following. I was a fan,
Really?
and I was
Did have a
sorry to
rabbit.
see it gone.
Oh.
But, I would have loved to see that continue to develop. They did make a movie follow-up, but it,
Really?
yeah.
It
And
resolved all the issues of the last show.
Was that in the last years or so? When
10
it had to be.
years
It
ago?
had to be
yeah, at
long
least 10
ago.
years
Yeah.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Michael Buster McMahon, lo and behold, was at our first show on Friday night of the Ghost Tour.
The Ghost Tours.
Oh, man, we had a great experience this year. It was so hot in the graveyard.
Oh, I
How
believe
hot
that.
was it, Bob?
Where's
Don't
the
answer
audience?
your own questions,
Yeah,
Bob.
yeah.
No, that's our job.
No. Years we've been doing this, and some years we've had to wear
Long johns?
long johns and hold the little coals in our hand to warm us,
keep warm,
to
yes.
keep warm. But this year it was a
You were
beautiful
sweating.
night. Huh? Oh, it's spritz weather, Svitz weather, as we the difference between a spritz and a svitz. I guess a svitz is
Don't have a Svitz on the air, Bob.
So Jay Pegluka did such a beautiful job of lighting us. It was so great, and we had these great people who came to go from grave to grave to grave. They laughed. They sang with us. They were really, I mean, it's the kind of audience you really appreciate. And it's a peripatetic audience because it goes from grave to grave to grave. Peter, you've...
Peripatetic?
Peripatetic.
Yeah, I need a
I still have
definition.
never made it.
You've
because-
never seen this?
No.
7 years you've been, you've
never,
had chances.
every time I've either had a conflict or I've been sick or I've been out of town. Like every single time.
But it was good. That's the whole thing is a benefit for the organization that helps maintain the old burial grounds or the old.
Oh, it's
burying,
looking good. That
mechanicals.
burial ground
come a
is really
long
good.
way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've got 1,500 graves in there, and they're slowly but surely redoing all of the ones. I learned something new this year, Jay. There are white stones in the graveyard, and then there are brown stones in the graveyard.
Right.
The brown stones are called brownstone. It's made of brownstone.
Sandstone.
It's like
Sandstone. Sandstone.
Yeah, and they aren't as durable as the white
No,
ones.
they are. They're better.
They're
This
better
is
because
what
the
I
other
learned.
ones are limestone.
Well, no. Well, marble, according to
Yeah,
Mistress Gaylord,
Yeah, okay.
and the marble sugarizes because of acid rain, and so you think that marble
I
stones?
would think the marble was harder.
I know.
Yeah, because
really.
the sandstone tends to wear in wind and rain
Yeah.
and whatever.
But they found that brownstone is a better stone for a grave. Now,
Kidding.
I don't. What are they? It's granite now. You
Yeah,
buy a granite gravestone, but back then we
Or an urn.
or an urn.
Yes.
Yeah, there are.
How do you feel about the word urn?
That I've earned myself a
place
little
in history.
a vase on the shelf.
You don't want to be an urn; you want to be a vase.
A vase. We have a vase. Actually, James has.
What's
we
the
have
difference
a vase.
between a vase and a vase?
Nothing.
Oh, come on!
No, I shouldn't say that. Dollar amount.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
It's the person saying it that makes it a vase
By
or
the way-
a vase.
620 at WSK.
Yeah. Oh my God.
CPC
Thanks for the
channel
hint.
15.
Yes.
A vase is a fancier vase. And even if you say, listen to me say vase, doesn't that sound like it's not even a glass thing that you
sounds
put
like
flowers?
vice.
It sounds like vase. A vase. Now that I think about it, vase is spelled V-A-S-E, not V-A-C-E. Is that right?
V-A-S-E.
How do you spell vase? V-A-S-E.
VAS?
Vase. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me tell you about the vase on my shelf. Okay.
I told you that story to tell you this story.
Yeah. The vase.
Guess
on
we're
my-
skipping this
No,
break.
the vase
I
on
guess
my
we're going to
shelf. I'm very
6:30.
proud of this. Is the idea that James has his former partner in that vase, and his former dog, and we have
same one?
in the same one. Tramp was his dog. He was a Briard Wheaton mix, and Harold was his partner. And Harold died of a brain tumor. You can read all about it in his new book. Here, this sounds like a plug for. It's called Out Here in the Stars, and so he's written a memoir about his years with.
So when is he coming on and talk about the book?
I'm
I'll
trying
do
to
the
get
interview.
him.
I'll do the interview.
You know, that's a good idea.
I'll do it at your house.
That's a very, very good idea. We're going to
Feel
do
just sit-
comfortable.
Yeah,
We'll just sit down, to the two of us, and have a chat, and then we can edit it.
This is a
some
very,
Scotch
very
whiskey.
good. He was at the book fair at the Springfield Library this weekend, and I was real proud of him, and I met a lot of authors. I invited them all on the radio, enough, Peter, that we could have a book show now. We have 10 authors that were sitting all there, and they were all in front of me, and I said, you know what? I'm going I've got 3 hours to sit and watch people buy books. I'm going to talk to the authors, and I'm going to connect them, and I'm going to connect them with Artworks Westfield and Wordsmiths in Westfield, and then I'm going to have a show around local authors who write books, because they were every one of the stories was really great. Well, anyway, I was talking about that vase or that vase on the shelf. So the vase on the shelf has Harold in it, and somebody says to me, how can you do that? And I thought to myself, how can I not do that? The idea that Harold's life with James helped him to have a better no, that's not a better. I'm not a better partner than Harold. I think Harold was an
Helped him
incredible
to grow
partner.
himself.
Helped him to grow to the point where he could accept me as a person. And so
That's a tall order there, Bob Plass.
There we are. So this all I earned. He earned that earn. URN, and I'm earning my earn. Right? What are you started by asking?
How do you earn an earn?
Wait a minute. Hold on. I need to look into the camera for that. What?
How do you earn an earn?
All right. So Jay asked me, what do you think about
How
the
do you
word
feel
earn?
about the word earn?
I like the word earn. What is it? Yeah, are you talking about EARN? ERN, the bird, or URN?
Where do you want to end up? Earning something or in an earn?
I want to earn my earn.
See, now that was a long way to get there, but actually I like that.
Oh, really? All righty. Hey, it's 6:21 in the morning, and 50 years ago, 1969, Abbey Road was released. Today, this is the 50th birthday of Abbey Road.
I like Abbey Road.
Yeah. So I'm going to play a couple of things from Abbey Road today. One of the ones that I thought was most appropriate was the one that, I never thought that George Harrison did anything other than play the guitar. And then suddenly he writes this beautiful music. And so I'm going to play George Harrison's Something in the Way She Moves from the Abbey Road album. Here we go.
Boise Cascade Distribution, providing products and services needed for building material dealers, home improvement centers, and industrial customers. They offer everything from engineered wood and plywood to Drex decking and railing, James Hardie siding, and Advantech subfloor. Located at 33 Fowler Street Extension in Westfield and on the web at bc.com. They are committed to providing quality products, great service, convenience, and value.
It's Tuesday morning from 6 till 8. Wow, it's Tuesday with Bob Plass.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it's Tuesday morning, and WCPC, Community Programming Corporation, what's that
Channel.
stand? Oh, channel. CW
Westfield Community Programming Channel.
What if we just-
WCPC.
What if we just refer to it as Westfield TV, because that's easier to remember and easier to get on the find
Call
on the
letters,
web.
man.
Well, we
it's-
need call letters, I
Well,
suppose.
okay,
yeah.
you need call letters, but Westfield TV, it's like everybody's branding their radio shows now and radio stations.
Yeah, yeah.
WARE is not WARE anymore. It's the Valley's Classic Hits, that kind of thing.
Ah, I get
Well,
it.
there actually is a WCPC. It's in Houston, in Mississippi.
Then you can't use that then.
Sure you can.
No, you
We are cold potato. Cold potato communication.
cold potato chips.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. We could be called the cold potato chip.
But Westfield TV,
Yeah.
and that's easy to remember. Just
Westfield
like
TV is a kind of nice thing, isn't it?
Westfield Concerts is easy to remember, and that's one of the reasons we went with WestfieldConcerts.com. For our
Well,
concert
speaking of
series.
those concerts, you know, we have a great fall coming up. Pumpkin Fest is on October 19th.
Yes, I look forward to that.
We'll talk about that. But you have been working furiously while I've been gone, I bet, on a wonderful series of concerts.
Well, if you didn't know, tickets went on sale last week for most of the shows that are coming up this winter, beginning November 8th.
November 8th.
We have a carol. That's a Friday. What we're doing is one weekend a month from November to May, except December. That's just too busy a month. Over at the Women's Club, and we're putting together, bringing in high-end bands. These are bands you wouldn't see in the area. They come from New Jersey, Boston, Pennsylvania, New York, and they're great shows. The first one is a Carole King tribute called Home Again.
Wow,
And,
I love that.
And if you go out to westfieldconcerts.com, you'll be able to see and get a little preview of some of what we're doing. And tickets are on sale now. You can buy them now. And it's a wonderful. The Women's Club is a wonderful little venue. You're right on top of the stage.
Yeah, there are only about 285 seats in there, something. I think.
Yeah, it depends on how you configure it. So I can do standing room up to more than that, but about 250 is a good round number. It's not a lot of people for a show like this.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
So the show is on Friday night, and then Saturday night, and then there's a Sunday matinee. Is that how it works?
Sunday earlier. We're doing an earlier evening. I think we're going to start at about 4 o'clock.
You know,
Again,
I
the
love
times
that
are on
idea
there.
because on Sunday you could go to a show at 4 o'clock and then go out to dinner. In London, they have shows at 5 o'clock, Broadway shows at 5 o'clock. I always thought that was brilliant because
Then you go to dinner
You
after.
go out to dinner after.
rather than try and get to dinner beforehand. But
Yeah,
the Friday and Saturday shows will be at 7. And we'll have most of the shows, if not all of them, will have a local opener as well. So we can. It'll help us showcase some of the local talent that we have in Western Massachusetts, which is very abundant.
Yeah.
And also, I've got to thank the Tavern Restaurant who stepped up. They're going to help us by serving beer and wine at all of these shows. So you can enjoy a glass of wine or beer, and then we joke that the tavern is the official after party because we're all going to be exhausted and go over and have something to drink over there.
Sure.
So.
That it's a great thing to have Carole King kick it off. What are the other two that weekend?
Saturday, I haven't signed the contract yet.
Yeah.
The band still owes me the contract, but it'll probably be a country act, an up and coming country star. Sunday will be the Weaklings, and
That's the Beatles.
It's
isn't it?
Beatles. It's kind of a Beatles tribute, but they do a lot. They have a lot of fun and do a lot of other things in the style of the Beatles. It's not a true Beatles band like we've done here in Westfield before, where they come up and it's like what you'd see on the Ed Sullivan Show right through the latter days of Sergeant Pepper. In fact, actually, there's a show coming up in late January at the high school. We'll talk about that another time. But that'll be for a benefit for the Westfield High School band. That we've done a lot of things like that in years past. So look,
So
it's
will
gonna
you
be a
go?
fun
So if
season.
somebody wanted tickets, they could go online to.
WestfieldConcerts.com, and you can get your tickets right there.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I'm going to be there, that's for sure. We appreciate the idea of concerts through the wintertime, and once a month to look forward to that during the wintertime and fall. It's a great idea. And it's sort of like our own Iron Horse, which is the Northampton great
that's
concert
kind of
venue.
the idea.
Ah,
That's kind of the idea. We wanted, it's over the past, 5 years or so, Westfield in the summertime has just grown incredibly with all of the music that's downtown.
Sure.
And we're like, well, yeah, but come November, they roll up the sidewalks and nobody comes back out until spring. Why not have something downtown? Let's give people an excuse to come out. And the Women's Club was really the perfect place at the perfect time. So we're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we thank the Women's Club, of course, for giving us the opportunity to have the venue to work in.
Yeah.
It's good for them, good for us.
That's right. Hey, the Beatles. I wonder if you could tell me on the Abbey Road cover who walks first, second, third, and fourth. I was trying to
Wait,
figure
let me
this
look
out.
it up. I really don't remember. I really don't remember.
Peter, do you? Can
have
you,
no idea.
You can't remember who? I think that who Paul is the last one, right? And the first one's got to be John. So Ringo. I'm gonna say that John, Ringo, George, and Paul.
Nope.
Is that right?
It's John, Ringo, Paul, and George.
Yep, that's it.
John, Ringo, Paul is third, and then George is ringing up the rear there.
That's what it says.
Yeah,
Yep.
Now, if you pull up Abbey Road and look for images on the net, you see, of course, the cover of Abbey Road.
Yeah.
But then you see a million other pictures of people trying to recreate it with their families. Some of them are hilarious.
Well, because
You know what there was too in the Hard Rock theme park that was only open for a couple of years in Myrtle Beach. They had a Beatles area, and they had the Abbey Road as like a wall painting on a building.
Or you could,
Oh.
yeah,
and
then
then take it right in front of that, which is
Exactly
really
right.
cool. I
Sure.
think I have a
with
picture
the
there.
with the same cars in the background, and yeah, that's kind of cool.
It was a mural recreation of it.
I love it. I love it. Hey, 6:33 in the morning. Well, speaking of great bands, I never knew about this band. I had no idea. I saw the name for years, but I was looking at Showtime the other night, and what I had to watch on Showtime, I wanted to watch a documentary. Do you guys know a band called Rush?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Power
Wait a
Trio Rush.
How did you know that? How do you?
Oh my god.
Oh, it's 70s alternative rock.
Yeah, Rush
That's
was the best.
Well, there is a great
They're
documentary.
just straight up power rock and roll.
Geddy Lee.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. Yeah. Geddy Lee, and then there's the two other guys are really very interesting. One is an inveterate reader. He's the smartest man alive. I swear. He reads a book a day or something.
Not as
they
smart
were
as
saying.
James May or
Brian May.
Brian May.
Brian, is he the other guy?
He's a good
He's
businessman.
from Queen. No, he's an astrophysicist.
Oh, all right, yeah, but Queen. Okay, but we're talking Rush here. Now, Rush.
Don't rush to judgment.
Yeah. Do you know what it was? They were from Canada, right? And
Yes, they were. In fact, a little bit of trivia. If you remember the old comedy album, Bob and Doug McKenzie, which was in the late 70s, early 80s, came out.
okay.
They had a little, that was it. They had a little guest star by the name of Geddy Lee on one of their songs.
really?
And they says, and one of my favorite lines in there is, "Hey, did you?" And this is Bob or Doug McKenzie. One of them say, "Hey, Geddy, did you get the check we sent you?" And Geddy responds, "Well, hey, $10 is $10."
I love it. Well, they described this band on the documentary, as being the unheralded one of the best bands ever.
Oh God, yeah.
And
YYZ,
yeah,
Tom Sawyer.
that there a lot of bands would never have come use them as an inspiration, actually. And they were the opening act for Uriah Heep believe it or not. And
he doesn't know Rush, but he knows Uriah Heep.
Oh yeah. Led Zeppelin. They were. Everybody said, "Is that Led Zeppelin?" No, it's not Led Zeppelin. It's Rush. So I got to play a Rush album. Go on Showtime and look if you're interested. And there are a lot of documentaries about musicians, but this one is particularly intelligent and well done. The Closer to the Heart song from their first album, Working Man, is short and it's beautiful, and it shows them in a different way. I never saw a jazz musician or a rock musician with a higher voice. Here we go, Closer to the Heart.
And the men who hold high places must be the ones who start to mold a new reality closer to the heart, closer to the heart. Blacksmith and the artist reflected in their art. They forge their creativity closer to the heart. Yes, closer to the heart. Philosophers and plowmen, each must know his part to sow a new mentality closer to the heart. Yes, closer to the heart. Yeah. Oh. Whoa, you can be the captain and I will draw the chart, sailing into destiny, closer to the heart, closer to the heart, well, closer to the heart, yeah, closer to the heart, closer to the heart, I say closer to the heart. Well, closer to the heart, yeah, closer to your heart, closer to your heart.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield. Underwriting for Community Radio on WSKB is brought to you in part by Rockies. Over 30 convenient locations throughout Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Florida. One of the nation's largest ACE dealers. Expertise and great product selection in paint, hardware, lawn and garden. That's Rockies. Rock solid service since 1926. On the web at rockies.com.
Wednesday mornings from 6 till 8, it's Tina Gorman with Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
Hey, wow. Thank you, Jay. If you were watching on westfieldtv.org, you would see Jay going off into the distance. He's gone off. He's got
Peace out.
Yeah.
I'll move me over here.
I don't know. Was it something that I said?
Probably
no.
not, Bob.
Oh, no. Wait a minute. No. Jay, where do I look in order? I have to look this way.
Look where the red light is on the camera.
Yes, but I want to. You're facing the other way. See, move you to the other side so it looks like we're talking to one another. There we are. Perfect. Now I look down and there you are, right here. I'll pat your little head. Oh no,
You're on the wrong side.
Oh, wait,
Bob.
now I'm on the wrong side. Okay, here I'm patting your
Now
little
you're off
head.
camera.
No,
You would not do
there.
well as a weatherman.
Here we are, patting your little head.
Oh, for cripe's sakes.
You got to watch on television in order to see that. If you're listening on the radio, I just patted my buddy here, Peter Coles, on the head. So, what's been happening in America since I left, Jay?
I don't know. I don't watch the news anymore.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm
good.
Pete, by the way.
Uh-huh.
Jay's the guy that's backing out right now.
Oh, that's right, Peter.
No, I don't. I don't. The news is just so depressing. It's like, why bother? I find good things online to brighten my spirits. And
Sure.
That's how I prefer not to be. You have enough problems of your own, right? Why worry about something that is not going to affect you directly on a day-to-day basis?
On a day-to-day. All right. Day-to-day, you probably
right.
could get up.
You
and
still have to wake up, do your job, pay your taxes, all that good stuff. And B, why get upset about people who really don't care about you or anybody that around you or anybody that you know? They don't care about anybody in this level of level.
That's an interesting equation there. That
They don't care.
Interesting philosophy. In other words, we're talking
Politicians.
our politicians. Yes, yeah. They don't care.
I shouldn't say that. On the national level, because on the state and local level, they have to care because they have direct interface with the public.
Oh, yeah. And in fact, we are participating in this election season, aren't we? Isn't Ken Stomsky interviewing all of the candidates?
First one's today.
Really? Tell me about it.
I think we have, 20-something interview spots?
Uh-huh.
And over 17 of them are already filled.
How do you like that? Wow. Yeah. If I were running for something other than my life, I'd go on and talk and whatever.
Yeah, well, but one of the candidates rescheduled to 9:25, so you have time to talk to him about Big Brother and
American Horror Story. Oh yeah. I am also interested in the downtown area of Westfield, and I need to urge everyone to get out there and support our small business in downtown Westfield. And while I was away, I heard that indeed the sales were off, and et cetera, and I really need you guys to go down there and buy. I don't know. Is that a shout out? Is that okay for me to say?
What are you buying?
Well, you can buy anything you want.
Just support downtown.
Support downtown. Yes, it's exactly right. And we have everything from a local bookstore to we've got great gift shops, a gift shop. We've got some great restaurants, and even some takeout food, if you like, and lots of services downtown. And the Westfield on Weekends store is right there at 105 Elm Street. Now, we aren't selling anything at the moment other than our Pumpkin Fest on October 18th. Now, Pumpkin Fest. You're not going to be here for that, Peter, are you?
No, I'm going to be on my way to, actually, I'm going to be in Wallops Island, Virginia, getting ready for a launch.
Ah, gotcha. Well,
we'll have just seen my son graduate from AIT training for helicopters, Black Hawk helicopters.
AIT, what's that?
It's Army...
Army Intelligence Technology or something?
Something training, additional something training. It's called AIT.
Wow. And
I don't know all the acronyms yet. I'm still learning.
Yeah. He is learning how to fly a helicopter.
He's learning how to work on a helicopter.
To work on a helicopter?
Yeah,
what do you mean? Like
maintenance?
Oh, maintenance stuff.
Repair.
Oh, okay. I thought there was somebody serving
fly.
Coffee on the helicopters.
No. He's going to be working on the helicopters up at Barnes, the Army unit up at Barnes, which are medical helicopters.
Ah, how great is that? How great
Eventually,
is that?
I think he wants to learn how to fly.
Yeah. So you're going down there for that, and then you're going to see a launch.
Well, yeah, I'm going down there. They're in Fort Eustis, which is just outside of Newport News, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And Wallops Island is only an hour up the road, and the launch is 2 days later. So my mom is going down with me, and she's actually going to stay for the launch and see her first launch ever. My
Great.
mom, who's in her 70s.
Your mom, who's in her 70s.
And
Your mom and I are probably the same age. Is that right?
I think you're pretty close. She might be a year older than you are.
Yeah.
But she's in Italy right now.
Poor girl. Yeah, she's in Italy.
Yes.
Really?
She went on an organized trip with one of her girlfriends, and she's in Italy right now. She lost her phone in Milan.
Oh my God.
She believes it's in an airport bathroom in Milan.
What do you do when you lose a phone abroad? We're gonna.
She called my brother to shut it off, but instead of using her friend's phone, she called from some payphone.
Was paying we actually had. I had an experience in Portugal. Ethel, my great friend, that not Ethel Mertz, as you know. We were traveling through Portugal, and she left her phone in a restaurant. Believe it or no, in a cab, I guess. And the restaurant where we were at helped her to trace the phone to the cabbie. And then the guy who replaced the cabbie at the next shift delivered the phone to us.
That's really cool, actually.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah. And of course, while I was in Scotland, I left my cell phone everywhere, and I left my phone everywhere, and I mean not my phone, my wallet once in a restaurant. I need
you tie your shoes in the morning?
I think I need to have everything strapped to me. I think that's the answer.
That's why I have a belt loop for or belt clips for my phones. Otherwise, I would leave them everywhere.
Oh gosh, where is my wallet now? Oh wait, there it is in my back pocket. That you when you're traveling on a trip, everyone, do you do this when you're walking to check their passport? All of a sudden, you say, "Where's my passport?" And you go from pocket to pocket to pocket, and you're going, "I don't have my passport," and then you discover it's in your shirt pocket instead of your coat pocket.
My passport goes in the same place every single time I travel.
Oh. Well, mine does too.
It goes right back as soon as I go through security.
As soon as I go through security, I give it to James because I can find James better than I can find the passport. You see. That's the truth. Yes. Hey, 6:47, everyone.
Let's take a break.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of shows, I'm watching a wonderful documentary called Hitsville, USA. I think
about Motown?
It's about Motown.
Yeah.
And it's about the founding of Motown by Berry Gordy and Smokey Robinson. Now, I had no idea that Smokey Robinson was the writer of all these great songs.
Oh, yeah. Prolific.
Oh my God. Classic songs. And in reality, he's going to be here in Springfield at the Springfield Symphony, October 18th.
That's got to be big bucks for that show.
Well, I don't know, but you got to go and see it. I would think that he's going to sing all these wonderful songs of the Motown
You should contact MGM and see if you can do an interview with him.
You mean we could do Smokey Robinson?
Why don't we go shoot over there? Shoot over there and do a 20-minute interview with him or something. And roll it into your show.
Holy God, I'm going to work on this one. But this Hitsville, USA talked all about the beginnings of Motown. And what I thought was very interesting was what I learned was that Berry Gordy had worked on the assembly line at Detroit in the car factories in Detroit. I think he worked for Ford, and he was thinking of how he could use the assembly line idea for the music business. So he buys this house, this small kind of house in the
turns into a record factory.
Poorest section. Yeah, and he turned it into a record factory. So this room had finding the artist. This room had developing the artist. This room had choosing the songs, and they would have all of these meetings and everything. And early on, he found Smokey Robinson, and Smokey Robinson, of course, was so instrumental in the founding of the Motown sound. But Berry Gordy is even right there with him. Smokey Robinson writes this song called Shop Around, and they put it out, and it's doing very well on the charts. Berry Gordy then starts to hear it and says, you know what, we could change it. They pull it, and they redo it, and then they put it out again, and this time it really soars and gets Motown started. So I'm going to play Shop Around by Smokey Robinson and the Miracles.
Okay, and I'm going to make a phone call to our good friend Marco.
Well, that's good. Mark Auerbach's going to be with us. So I'll see you in a bit. Here's Shop Around, Smokey Robinson and the Miracles.
When I became of age, my mother called me to her side. She said, son, you're growing up now. Pretty soon you'll take a bride. And then she said, just because you become a young man now, it's still some things that you don't understand now. Before you ask some girl for a hand now, keep your freedom for as long as you can now. My mama told me, you better shop around. Oh yeah, you better shop around. Shop around. Oh yeah, you better shop around. Shop around. I try to get yourself a bargain, son. Don't be sold on the very first one. A pretty girl's come a dime a dozen. I try to find one who's gonna give you true loving. Before you take a girl and say I do now, I make sure she's in love with you now. Shop around.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Support for community radio on WSKB provided by Westfield Electroplating. Employing over 140 skilled platers, painters, and technicians, Westfield Electroplating was founded in 1946 and was the first company in the country to achieve National Aerospace and Defense Contractor Program accreditation, proudly maintaining that status for over a decade. Westfield Electroplating provides over 50 quality finishes to meet your corrosion, cosmetic, or performance needs. On the web at www.westfieldplating.com or 413-568-3716. Westfield Electroplating, putting the finishing touches on technology.
Wednesday mornings from 6 till 8, it's Tina Gorman with Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it's Tuesday morning and it is October 1st. Who can believe it? October 1st, everyone. And this is the Westfield Weekend Show. And my name is Bob Plass. And I am joined by the octogenarian of October. That doesn't work, does it?
No, it doesn't. I'm not an octogenarian.
Semi-octogenarian? What, half of an octogenarian? Are you 40 yet, Peter?
I'm on the late 40s, yes.
Yeah, how about this? A late semi-octogenarian of October.
Sure, Bob.
Who is the operator of our great board. That's Peter Coles, and we are thrilled that in the second hour we're going to be joined by Mark Auerbach, critic extraordinaire. And hey, I wanted to point out that Hitsville, USA is a documentary about the founding of Motown. It's a very interesting one. And the other one is called Rush, and that's on Showtime if you want to see two documentaries about great music, both. And I also want to tell you that Pumpkin Fest, October 19th, Saturday, October 19th, happens. Westville on weekends. Jason Poland and Heather White and myself and a great deal of, or great number of wonderful volunteers are putting it together. And this year it has some components that we've never had before. Westfield Gas and Electric is doing a big rig rally, and that means that on the Elm Street, in the parking lot on Elm Street, in front of the Over Transit Center, there will be all of these great service vehicles, trucks for your kids to touch and to meet the servicemen who run those trucks. And there are going to be trucks from the city and trucks from the fire department and police vehicles, et cetera, et cetera. It's a great opportunity for your young men and women, your youngsters who enjoy trucks for some reason. Everybody, why is that? Did you like trucks when you were young, Peter?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what is that about?
Well, my dad owned a tractor-trailer shop, so I was kind of biased.
I think there's something about the wheels and moving the little toys around or something, but you can see the big rig rally at Pumpkin Fest. Also, the Harvest Market is happening, and that will happen between Franklin Street and Arnold Street. And our great friends at the Don Whitehall of the Pottery Cellar and Joanne Bigelow of JoJo's Rustic Remnants are putting it together for us. Lots of vendors, many vendors, and great craftspeople between Franklin Street and Arnold Street. And if you want to be a vendor, please go on westfieldandweekends.com and you'll see how to apply. I think there's a vendor form out there as well. Now, Artworks of Westfield is doing their Art Walk on that day, and that will take place from Spring Street through to Arnold Street. And that is for visual artists and for authors. And so if you're an up-and-coming author or a seasoned author or a veteran artist, please go to Artworks of Westfield and apply to be there. I know that there may be some spaces for vendors for them, visual artists and authors. So that's a really good opportunity for you guys. Now, also, down the street from School Street to Arnold Street is what we're calling the Trunk or Treat Boulevard. And it's Trunk or Treat. And this is produced in association with Roots Learning Center. You ever gone to a trunk or treat, Peter?
Yeah. Instead of going to houses, you go to cars.
You go to cars that are decorated for the season, and you go from car to car. So your kids on Pumpkin Fest Day, October 19th, you can go from car to car. They can be dressed in their costumes, and they can have a sort of pre-Halloween celebration.
Yeah, it's kind of a one-stop shopping.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And if you want to join us for Trunk or Treat, if you have an organization or a particular car that you want to decorate, you can go to info@westfieldonweekends.com and sign up. Also, on the green, this is where a lot of the great action happens. This year we're giving out pumpkins. Many, many, many pumpkins. I'm talking over 500. I think it's 700, 750 pumpkins.
How many pumpkins do you have?
Well, we're still working on the deal. I know it's going to be at least 700, maybe 1,000, depending on what the price of pumpkins is this year.
Hey, Mark, do you guys ever do pumpkins?
We do pumpkins.
Oh, there's a voice
Hi, Mark.
way in the background.
Yeah, I'm just fixing fixing my coffee here.
Oh, okay. Once he
Sorry.
fixes his coffee, he's drinking pumpkin spice coffee, I'm sure. Yeah. Hey, so what I wanted you guys to know is the free pumpkins are being provided by the Varellas family of the Good Table. And we are so thrilled. And there are a lot of other businesses like George's Jewelers and a lot of other supporters like our council people who are giving money so that we can give away pumpkins for kids to carve and or decorate. So that's happening there on the green. There are going to be games and everything. Hey, I got to tell you what's happening at the Athenaeum as well. This is really cool. At the Athenaeum, there's going to be a treasure hunt, and there's going to be a scavenger hunt, and there's going to be an escape room, and there's going to be a toy and book sale and a jewelry sale, all provided by the Friends of the Athenaeum. So that's happening at the Athenaeum. So this year's Pumpkin Fest really looks great. If you want to see what Pumpkin Fest is all about, you can go to westfieldonweekends.com, or you can do hashtag WOW, hashtag Westfield on Weekends, or hashtag Pumpkin Fest. We also have a Facebook page as well as an Instagram page at Westfield on Weekends. So that's all what's happening. Peter, you're going to be down there watching the sky. We're going to be down there watching people, children and their families carve and enjoy all of the great activities that are happening down on Elm Street and on the green on October 19th.
Sounds good.
Doesn't sound like great? Yeah. Hey, 7 o'clock in the morning. Today's the 50th anniversary of Abbey Road, and I am going to play my favorite song from Abbey Road, Here Comes the Sun. The sun's not out today. It looks like we're going to have showers throughout the day, right? And a little
bit of rain
cloudy.
today,
Yeah, but the weather's, the temperature is really pretty good. So Here Comes the Sun from Abbey Road, 1969, 50 years ago.
Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright.
Underwriting for Community Radio on WSKB is brought to you in part by Rockies. Over 30 convenient locations throughout Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Florida. One of the nation's largest ACE dealers. Expertise and great product selection in paint, hardware, lawn and garden. That's Rockies. Rock solid service since 1926. On the web at rockies.com.
Wednesday mornings from 6 till 8, it's Tina Gorman with Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday morning, October 1st, 2019, and counting. My name is Bob Plass. This is the Westfield on Weekend Show. Glad to have you here. You can watch us on westfieldtv.org if you're not watching it at all, and you're listening on 89.5 FM. We've got 3 cameras here. You're welcome to watch on CPC TV as well. We've become a TV show as well as a radio show. How do you like that? And thanks to Westfield State University and the school department of Westfield, we're down here at Westfield Technical Academy, Studio 120, and we're glad to have you here. Peter, where are you anyway? I think he's out somewhere. I seem to be alone in the studio here. Hey, everybody, I hope you've had a good fall so far. We've got so much happening in Westfield. You can go online, as I always say, to the various organizations to see what's happening. I know Bay State Nobles Ball is happening on November 2nd. We've got the Westfield Gaslight Productions that we talked about with JPEG Luca happening on November 8th. And also, oh God, I'm thinking that there are big events happening. I know the Y has got lots happening. And Westfield Athenaeum, I'm telling you, have you been down there lately to see the renovations? There is something happening every day at the Westfield Athenaeum. Worth going to. I am glad to be back. I was on a plane for 7 hours coming back, and I don't know if this I don't know if this ever happens to you, Peter, but when you're on a plane, and I am worried about there being somebody on a plane with a cold or the flu or something that is coughing, and I'm in this airplane that there's recycled air is recycling illness over and over and
You're
over
in a tin
again.
can, yeah.
Oh my God. So I don't know what to do. I'm on the plane coming back from Europe, and there is a woman who is coughing her brains out, sick as can be, 3 seats over to my left. And I go, oh no, she's not going to cough through the entire flight. 3 seats to my right, a woman begins to cough, and she's coughing. So I am surrounded by folks who are coughing. Now, what do you do? I don't know in that
Pray.
situation. Do you take out, should I be traveling with one of those gauze things that you put over your face? I don't know.
No, don't be foolish, Bob.
What do you do?
You deal with it. Mark, what do you do?
Yeah, Mark Auerbach, critic extraordinaire. What do you do? Do you change your seat?
Yeah, well, you really can't change your seat. All you can do is, get one of those little surgical masks that kind of purifies the air that you're breathing without any interruptions. That's probably the best you can do.
Would you dare to wear that please, God, I don't want to be so vain as to not wear that sort of thing, but I wonder. I was making comments to the people, the woman beside me. I was saying, is she going to cough all through the plane? Oh no, there she goes again and stuff. And every time I got up to use the bathroom,
kind of rude, Bob?
Well, I couldn't think because she wasn't coughing into her elbow. I mean, like, what do you do in that situation? And I thought to myself, maybe the airline could make a rule now that they have surgical masks that they give to folks who are coughing like that. And then I thought,
they'll charge you for that if they do. So your plane ticket that was $500 from wherever you're going to go,
Yeah.
is now going to be $1,000 for that mask, which is going to have their logo on it. And
He's right,
the airlines will be making big money, and they'll be hiring people to cough so that you buy them in flight for twice the price.
oh, you mean you're going to sell these?
No, the airline will.
The airline will go down and they will say,
marketing
the
campaign.
minute somebody coughs, they will make the announcement. The stewardess will be going through the airline with surgical masks, $1 a piece, and get your credit card. We've got credit cards out, and they'll go, and we'll all have these surgical masks, except for the people that are coughing. Now, my suggestion is to give the people who are coughing surgical masks, or perhaps put them into a separate location on the plane.
That's discrimination, Bob.
Oh.
You can't do that, Bob.
Yeah.
However, it would be nice. And next time you should just fly first class, because in a lot of these first class configurations, you almost like have a suite to yourself.
Oh, that is true.
So
That
for
is
an
true.
extra $1,000, this would not be a problem.
Okay. Hey, the plane that I flew back on had a bar. Do you believe it? It had a bar with 3 seats at it. I between first class and business, there was this bar.
And where did you go, Bob? I missed that.
Oh, I went to Scotland. So beautiful. And then I spent 3 days in London. So we went to Edinburgh and the Isle of Skye, and we went to Inverness, and we went to Stirling Castle, and a wonderful little coastal town called Inverary. We just had as I said, Ireland is a wonderful country, but Scotland is Ireland on steroids. Honest to God, it's so beautiful. Have you been there ever?
I've only been to London.
And what do you think about London? Because we spent 3 days there. I've been there several times, but this was my first. We stayed in Belgravia, of all places. And I found this real inexpensive hotel in Belgravia where all the rich live. It's those white brownstones that you see in all those upstairs, downstairs specials. Do you remember that? Do you?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I stayed at Buckingham Palace, and I was really hoping to go a little more downscale than that, because you had to just get dressed to walk in the hall. I actually like London, and I've been a couple of times, particularly to go to the theater.
Well, I wondered about that. Yeah,
it's a wonderful city.
It really is, and there are beautiful theaters. The theaters are beautiful, number one, but the prices in London are a little less expensive than in America to see shows, although they're still rather high. I'm amazed.
I think things will change when this Brexit takes place, and I think a lot of things are going to cost more, just because these shows that are touring in Europe are going to have to cross borders now that they didn't have to cross before.
The shows that are it's strange that shows that don't make it in America sometimes make it in Europe. I remember, what was that skating show by Andrew Lloyd Webber? They were all on skates.
Oh, the Starlight Express. That actually started in Europe and was a big hit and wasn't in the United States.
Oh, is that what happened? Oh, okay. Because that toured forever. And Jesus Christ Superstar tours all the time over there, as well as Phantom and all of these shows that are really classic, like Oklahoma and stuff, don't get tours, but those bigger shows.
But you've got to remember, Bob, that shows like Jesus Christ Superstar or Evita or Phantom originated in Great Britain. And
oh, my God, yes.
British musicals, and of course they would tour much more than some of the American stuff. But, I mean, their American musicals and plays make it over there. And some plays that start in the United States, like there was a play that started in a workshop at Hartford Stage called The Inheritance, which is a 6-hour play.
Wow.
Decided to open initially in London, and it became a big British hit, and it opens on Broadway this week.
Is
so it
that
kind of
right?
started here, went there, got developed, and is coming back.
Do you think that the London audience appreciates theater, straight shows that are not musicals, more than the American audiences? I mean, people go to Broadway to see musicals.
I think tourists primarily go to Broadway to see musicals because they've heard that when you go to New York, you have to take in a big Broadway show. But I think regular, everyday theater goers embrace both musicals and non-musicals on both sides of the Atlantic.
Last night I've been watching BroadwayHD.com, and it's $9 a month. And James said to me, "You think this is worth it?" I said, "Well, in the last weeks or so, we've watched all these great Broadway shows. Last night I'm watching this thing called Shakespeare Live from the the Royal Shakespeare Company in Stratford-on-Avon. It was a celebration of I think the 400th anniversary of Shakespeare's death or something. I don't know, but we only watched the first hour because it was so engrossing, and I said, well, I'm falling asleep. I got to be awake for this, but it had every British star in it, and scenes from Guys and Dolls and West Side Story and Shakespearean plays and the ballet and the opera, and so well done. The Royal Shakespeare Company really does some great stuff.
Yeah, I have not subscribed to that. While I was in rehab, they had these introductory offers.
Mm-hmm. That's physical rehab. We don't want, if anyone's late in tuning in, you didn't come out of the Betty Ford Center, did you?
No, you used that joke last month.
Oh, I did?
I'm
sorry.
They have these, like, sign up for a week for free, and I did, and I watched a lot of stuff, but it's not something that I have time to sit down and watch, like, for 2 hours at a stretch.
Mm-hmm.
So I chose not to for whatever reason, and I think that during the winter when I don't feel like going outside, maybe I'll come back and watch more.
Oh yeah, you definitely, and then we'll talk further on it. Hey Marco, speaking of health, what's the health update? Are you out there now walking around and everything?
I am out there. I walk with a huge brace on my leg. It looks like I'm the oldest person auditioning for the role of Tiny Tim.
Hey, have I got a job for you here in Westfield? God bless you, everyone.
Yeah, I know the words. I've got the leg braces. I move slowly, and I still go to physical therapy every day. I've been doing that for a long time. And the only things that I can't do, I can't climb stairs yet. So it means I'm living on the first floor of my house. And if I'm on the floor, like lying on the floor, I can't get up. So I have to be very careful about all sorts of stuff. But I let God bless my physical therapists who have me working for an hour every day, and they're terrific.
Yeah. What are you doing on the floor? I'm in the same boat. If I'm on the floor, I'm going to stay on the floor.
Well, they told me that I need to lie in a flat surface and do certain exercises to build up my legs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really difficult to do in bed. So I generally would lie on the floor, and then somebody would help me get up.
Sure.
But if I'm lying on the floor by myself, it is really difficult to get up. I can't put any weight on my knees yet.
Oh, I get it.
It's only, they said, hey, guy, it's only been 5.5 months, that you shouldn't expect to do this for another few months. So I just take it one step at a time, and literally one step at a time.
Right. Well, how about driving? Are you able to drive with a brace?
I can drive short distances. Anything
see.
longer than 20 minutes in the car is uncomfortable.
Yeah. But you're out there. You're out there seeing shows now, aren't you?
Well, I am, and it has proven to be somewhat difficult. Going to Hartford is within a half an hour, and I can maneuver that.
Right.
Going to the Berkshires, like I did last week, over the weekend, was really kind of tough. And then I sat in a theater, which generally, I was at the Unicorn, that Berkshire Theater Group.
Right.
But, when you have a leg that doesn't bend particularly well, even sitting in the last row, it's uncomfortable. So, I got fidgety early on. This week is more of a challenge because I'm going to the Bushnell tomorrow to review SpongeBob musical, and then on Wednesday to Goodspeed. And
well, the musicals probably are will the toe tapping numbers. Maybe you can get your foot to tap, and maybe that would help with the fidget or whatever. You could fidget to the music.
Just a thing of like when you're in a brace, standing up and sitting down, which normally you don't even think about when somebody comes to move into the aisle, becomes more of a difficult thing.
Sure.
And Hartford Stage, I went to the opening of Quixote Nuevo on Friday night, and they were absolutely wonderful, and they put me in the front row where I could put my feet out. And as the lights are dimming, one of the ushers said to me, you have to keep your feet next to the seat for the first 10 minutes because people come in and out the side doors. You'll trip somebody. And once that happened and they were all on stage and everything and I could relax a little bit, I was comfortable. But you realize that we all take for granted sitting for 2 hours.
Oh,
In a theater or at the movies or something like that. And I am not capable of holding still for that long.
Yeah. I think we all need a break, and it's an interesting thing to me to think that sometimes shows go without intermissions, and to sit for an hour and a half. Well, some of those Rodgers and Hammerstein shows go on for an hour and a half, and then the second act is like a half hour long or whatever. I don't know how folks do it. I mean, I always need to get up and go to the bathroom, and I don't want to do it in the middle of a show.
Well, you got to remember that the way that people's theater go is different now than it was when these Rodgers and Hammerstein classics were written and performed. In days of old, theater times were much later. They were like 8 or 8:30 at night, and people made a full evening out of it. They went to dinner first. The intermissions were longer so that you could get up and go for a drink or a snack or something like that. And today, the shows start earlier. People can't sit still for longer than 2 hours, and so people can't sit for 2 hours without checking their email or checking their phone.
Oh, that's true.
So a lot of shows are 90 minutes without intermission, or maybe 2 hours with intermission, and that's the same thing with the movies. You don't see Gone with the Wind coming anymore where you sit for 4 hours.
Yeah, and I remember those movies that had intermissions. I mean, many of those movie musicals would take a break, and you could actually get up and get some more popcorn. South Pacific, Oklahoma had breaks in the middle. Cleopatra had a break in the middle. Do you remember those?
I do.
Yeah.
But it was a different time, and people were used to sitting for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and not need a break. Now, in the way our society works, people can barely sit still for an hour.
Oh man, I'm telling you, I'm fidgeting right as we speak. Hey, I'm going to play a song by Julie Andrews. Today's her 84th birthday, Mark. Do you believe it?
That.
Yeah, 84 years old. This was from, this is the quintessential Julie Andrews. She has a 4-octave voice, believe it or she had a 4-octave voice. We'll talk a little bit about her when we get back. But this is from her big success, My Fair Lady. This is Wouldn't It Be Loverly?
All I want is a room somewhere far away from the cold night air, with one enormous chair. Wouldn't it be lovely? Lots of chocolate for me to eat, lots of coal making lots of it, warm face, warm hands, warm feet. Wouldn't it be lovely? Oh, so lovely, sitting absolutely still. I would never budge till spring crept over me windowsill. Someone's head resting on my knee, warm and tender as he can be, who takes good care of me. Oh, wouldn't it be lovely, lovely, lovely? chocolate for me to eat. Lots of coal and making lots of heat. Warm face, warm hands, warm feet. How wouldn't it be lovely? Oh, so lovely, sit absolutely still. I would never budge till spring crept over me windowsill. Who takes good care of me? Oh, wouldn't it be lovely?
Underwriting support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Greater Westfield Chamber of Commerce, the voice of business for the Greater Westfield communities. Informing, educating, advocating, the Chamber provides opportunities for members to make meaningful connections on local, regional, and state levels. For more information on the Chamber's many events, workshops, and programs, as well as the benefits of membership, visit westfieldbiz.org. The Chamber focuses on the most important economy, yours.
Wednesday mornings from 6 till 8, it's Tina Gorman with Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
Hey, wow, it's Tuesday morning, Westfield on Weekends. Great show with Mark Auerbach's critic extraordinaire on the phone. I'm Bob Plass, and the semi-octogenarian of October is behind the board. That's Peter Coles, and we're pleased to have you here. Julie Andrews, 84 years old. Mark, I got a question for you. She has appeared in 4 shows. Can you name the 4 Broadway shows that she has been in?
Well, she did My Fair Lady.
Mm-hmm.
She did Camelot.
Right.
She did Victor Victoria.
Right. And there was one more.
Boyfriend.
The Boyfriend. You got it. You got it. And she was telling a story. I was listening to some interviews with her last night. She was saying how Richard Rodgers wanted her for his Pipe Dream musical, which was kind of a flop for Rodgers and Hammerstein. And she auditioned, and she was auditioning at the same time for Alan J. Lerner for the musicalization of Pygmalion, which became My Fair Lady. And Richard Rodgers says to her, I'll tell you what, if you get My Fair Lady, I think that's the perfect show for you. You take it. And if you don't get it, you come back and you got Pipe Dream. Well, she got My Fair Lady, and the rest is history. But, Mark, is she singing now? I think that she had something go wrong with her
She
throat.
had some kind of injury to her vocal cords during or after Victor Victoria, which the role was written for her to sing in a low key. I think she strained her vocal cords, and she does sing, but not with the range that she had when she started.
Oh my gosh, she was singing. Google her at 12 years old, singing these operatic things. She's incredible at opera. At 12 years old, she was this big star in the United Kingdom, and so happy birthday, 84 years old. There's no one more gracious than Julie Andrews, but she's got a real fun spirit to her as well. Watch her do that Carol Burnett business when she appears with Carol Burnett and Julie Andrews at Carnegie Hall, etc. Those are great shows.
They are, and she also has, she's a real professional when it comes to doing theater. She was in the musical Victor Victoria on Broadway, which was adapted from the movie Victor Victoria, which was also a musical.
Mm-hmm.
And the show did not get great reviews. And when it came time for the Tony Awards that year, nothing of the show, not the music, not the book, not the musical production, nothing got nominated for a Tony except for her performance. And she declined the nomination because she felt that it was incredibly unfair.
To signal,
were not nominated.
yeah, because she was given the tools to do this great show. She does it, and she does it well. But she would never have gotten that award if there were not good songs by Henry Mancini or direction, etc., etc., etc. Interesting. She's a lovely person. I've always liked Julie Andrews. I wish we'd known one another at one point. I think she's the kind of person you want to have at a party.
Yeah, I think so. She's somebody that I've never met. I did see her in Victor Victoria, which was the only... I mean, I've seen television clips of her in other things, but the only live thing I ever saw was Victor Victoria, and she was one of the best things in it, but she had a good supporting cast. Rachel York was hilarious in the role that Leslie Ann Warren played in the film, Norma Cassidy, the gangster's girlfriend.
I remember. Who played the Robert Preston role on Broadway?
I can't recall.
God. This was the show. Victor Victoria is way ahead of its time. It was a woman playing a man playing a woman. No, wait. How did that work?
That was it, because that was one of the famous lines from it. It was a out-of-work opera singer who she cross-dresses and plays a man who is a drag queen, basically. And it was a very funny movie. It had elements of French farce in it with doors slamming and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And it had some really nice music to it and
a
great
music.
cast. And then when they brought it to Broadway, it's something, they added things to it, and regrettably, she didn't stay with the show very long, not because she wasn't Tony nominated, or she was and the show wasn't, but she was developing vocal problems.
Health problems, yeah.
Raquel Welch replaced her for a few weeks on Broadway, and then Liza Minnelli.
Oh, really?
Show folded.
Wow, it would be interesting to see that show again. I'd love to. Victor Victoria is a great movie, incidentally. Well, rent it if you haven't seen it. It's very funny, and you'll be very surprised that Julie Andrews in it. What a great actress, and just terrific.
And funny enough, the Broadway musical was taped in its entirety to be shown in Japan.
Oh, really?
And you can find it on YouTube and a few other sources. And Julie Andrews actually introduces it as a musical, and they show people arriving at the theater as the overture is playing. And one of the people arriving is Rudy Giuliani and his first wife, Donna Hanover.
I
saw that thing. I saw it maybe a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
And I found it on YouTube.
It was right after he visits. He wasn't in Japan. He visited Russia just before he visited Japan to set up something, I think.
No, but the musical was filmed on Broadway.
It was filmed on Broadway. Gotcha.
In the Broadway theater, and
it was filmed to be shown in Japan.
It's filmed to be shown, and it's quite wonderful. There's a couple of great dance numbers in it, and of course the famous one is a production number called Le Jazz Hop.
I remember it.
It's famous both in the movie and on stage.
Yeah.
And
so we could see it if we go on YouTube.
I think if you have to go look for it, but it's out there.
Yeah, wild. Hey, let's take a break and then come back and you tell us all about the great theater you're seeing. Hey, Peter, we're going to be playing. Actually, we're going to be talking about South Pacific, and I found a great version of "You've Got to Be Taught." You've got to be carefully taught from South Pacific. This is India Ari and Billy Porter. Billy Porter just won an Emmy for toes. He's a great singer, and this really it shows that songs that are really well written can last the test of time, or what's the expression, and make the test of time. This is Billy Porter and India Ari and Carefully Taught from South Pacific, which Mark will tell you about in a few minutes.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Barnes & Noble College Bookstore in the Ely Campus Center, offering Westfield State t-shirts, sweatshirts, and gift merchandise, all of your academic needs, and offering textbook materials in new, used, ebook, and rental formats. Available at the bookstore on campus or online at westfieldstate.bncollege.com.
Wednesday mornings from 6 till 8, it's Tina Gorman with Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it's Tuesday morning. It's October 1st. We've had a great show. We've got theater critic extraordinaire Mark Auerbach on the line. Mark, that's a great version of Carefully Taught. If you want a great album, it's Billy Porter sings Richard Rogers, and he's got all these people like India Ari singing with him, and it's a really terrific album. I love that album, and that's a really wonderful version of Carefully Taught from South Pacific. And we get to see South Pacific, don't we, next summer?
We do actually. Next spring, South Pacific is being done by Goodspeed Musicals, and Rob Ruggiero, who's the artistic director of Theater Works in Hartford, is going to direct it.
It's very interesting to me that Rogers and Hammerstein's South Pacific is done year after year after year. Any explanation for that?
Well, first of all, a lot of the Rogers and Hammerstein musicals are classics. But in case of Goodspeed, they did Oklahoma a couple of years ago, but they haven't done most of the canon of Rogers and Hammerstein. And when you see the tours at, like, the Bushnell,
right.
Rogers and Hammerstein doesn't always come rolling through. There was a tour of Sound of Music last year, but South Pacific hasn't been seen in a while. It was done at Lincoln Center.
I remember that with Kelly O'Hara. You can actually see a televised version of that. And I saw it with Reba McEntire as well.
I was going to say there was a television version. I believe it was done for the New York Philharmonic. And it was with Reba McEntire and Brian Stokes Mitchell and Alec Baldwin as Luther Billis.
Oh, my gosh.
It was superb.
That was, yeah. And in fact, I think that Brian Stokes Mitchell, who played Don Quixote on Broadway, and is a great, was in Ragtime, etc., his version of This Nearly Was Mine was the down and out best version of any Rodgers and Hammerstein song I've ever heard. You gotta, if you Google Reba McEntire's South Pacific, watch that. It's a really terrific show.
I've got to throw in, I think that Brian Stokes Mitchell is one of the most talented musical theater actors that we have, and he's underappreciated. I have seen him in performance. I saw him in Man of La Mancha. I saw him in Ragtime, and he is absolutely wonderful.
I know. You see him in supporting roles on television. I think did I see him on Glee or recently on he played somebody's father on some show recently, and I said, what is he doing? He needs to, oh my God, be on Broadway and sing his heart out again and again and again. But so South Pacific opens the next Goodspeed season. What else is playing there at Goodspeed next year?
Goodspeed is doing a new musicalization of Anne of Green Gables.
Oh.
And that is in the summer. And it's a story that a lot of people know. It's set in Prince Edward's Island. It has been a play. It has been a musical before, but this is a completely new musical. And then they're going to open in the fall, a year from now, with Leonard Bernstein's Candide.
My favorite. Oh, my God, I love that show.
Musical scores of ever.
Yeah.
And Darko Tresnik, who is the former artistic director of Hartford Stage, will be directing that.
I think that it's about time that Candide came back to Broadway. So I would have bet that they'd be looking to turn that into a Broadway show after next summer's
It's funny.
performance.
It opened the same year that My Fair Lady opened, 1956.
Uh-huh.
And it was, and a year before Bernstein got West Side Story on Broadway.
Yeah.
And the music was very much appreciated. A lot of orchestras today play the overture to Candide.
Da 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 da
Yeah,
da da.
and then there's a song in it that the soprano, that Cunegonde sings, called Glitter and Be Gay,
Yes.
which is about a courtesan loving her jewelry. And I've seen that done. A number of opera stars have done it. There was a revival of Candide done on television, and Kristen Chenoweth played the role of Cunegonde. And it's been revived a couple of times. Harold Prince took a stab of it, and Stephen Sondheim rewrote parts of it in the early 70s. And then it comes back maybe every 10 years or so, but it's not a show that gets done in regional theaters that often because it's a big show.
Yes, yeah. I have
the idea that they're going to do it at good speed, and Darko Tresniak is just so good at staging musicals. It should be really an exciting.
I can't wait. Well, you've been seeing some great shows. Okay, what is this?
The season opener, and that's at Hartford Stage. It's Quixote Nuevo, which is a revisitation of the Don Quixote story by Octavio Solis. It premiered at the California Shakespeare a year ago, and 3 major theaters in our country, the Alley in Houston, Hartford Stage, and Huntington in Boston, are doing a joint production. And after its Hartford run, it goes on to Boston and then Houston. It sets the legend of Don Quixote at the Tex-Mex border in a fictional town called La Plancha.
Man of La Mancha.
This one's Man of La Plancha.
Yeah.
And what happens is this older man is a former literature professor at a community college, and he has dementia, and he dreams that he's Don Quixote, and he tells the story, and it's done with the Tex-Mex music. It's absolutely colorful as can be, but it's got the sadness of, fighting, tilting at windows and fighting for your dream. And, the character of Don Quixote is an old man who's kind of reaching out for the things he lost along the way. And the story is playing out at the wall on the border between Texas and Mexico. And
oh my God,
it certainly makes political statements. It's a beautiful story.
I can't wait. You said now. What's he tilting at in the book and in the musical? He's tilting at windmills.
People would refer to Don Quixote as a man tilting at windmills.
Windmills, but in the show, is he tilting at windmills in Mexico or what?
Yeah, I mean, it's more of a euphemism, but he is reaching for stuff that just he can't have. And his Sancho Panza is an ice cream vendor.
Oh, I love this.
Has a little ice cream cart going through this small town of La Plancha, and Sancho is hysterically funny, but he so believes in Don Quixote's mission and quest that it's a beautiful relationship between the two. And I just loved it. I thought it was...
How long does it play, Mark?
Excuse me. It plays through, I believe, the 13th of October.
I got to get down and see this.
You got to go.
Oh, man.
And if you go to Pioneer Valley Radio...
Yes.
I have a review of that on air this morning.
Oh,
and I also saw on Saturday a play called What the Jews Believe at the Berkshire Theater Group in Stockbridge.
What the
And
Jews
it's a sequel
Believe.
to a play called The Immigrant by Mark Herlick that was very popular about 30 years ago in regional theaters.
So, wait a minute. So, What the Jews Believe is based on The Immigrant?
It's the sequel to it, written by the same author, and he's directing the production in Stockbridge. And it's the story of, The Immigrant was the story of this Russian Jew who took a ship out of Europe and ended up in Galveston, Texas. And he became a peddler, and he ended up in a small Texas prairie town where he was the only Jew in town, and nobody had ever seen a Jew before. And he's successful. He sends for his wife, and they try to make a life for themselves in a world that's completely alien to them. So in What the Jews Believe, you flash forward to the grandson of this immigrant lives in the same family house with his wife and son. They're still the only Jewish family in town. and they're preparing their child for his bar mitzvah, and they import a rabbi from El Paso.
Oh,
as a
wild.
tutor, and the wife is dying of cancer. The husband is sort of a non-believer, and they try to grapple with faith and what they believe, and what kind of legacy of faith do they want to pass on to the next generation. And I found it very difficult to watch because of personal circumstances.
Sure.
But the play is very well done.
Berkshire Theater Group, and that's at the Unicorn, which is
So
a
the
small...
Unicorn, which is the little theater there, which is always a great place to go to the theater.
Oh, God, you're right on top of the actors. It's
that runs
terrific.
until October 20th. And again, I have a review running today on Pioneer Valley Radio on the program called Brad Shepard.
Oh,
Today.
yeah, I've been on Brad Shepard's show. We love Brad Shepard. Yeah,
and I've been doing a lot of, it's difficult to do radio reviews, for example, when I'm doing something with you guys.
Right.
But to come in and do a 30-second or a 45-second review the way they work, and it's a new internet station, it's giving me a new opportunity as a reporter.
Oh, wild. Sure. Hey, what do you got? What are you seeing this week?
Well, tomorrow, tonight I'm going to the premiere of the tour of the SpongeBob musical.
SpongeBob musical
on Broadway.
Yeah,
a couple of years ago, and it's been reconfigured, and it opens at the Bushnell tonight and runs through Sunday, and it's the second stop on the national tour, so it should be really fresh and exciting.
So tell me about this national tour. What's the difference between a national tour and just a touring company?
Well, in the case of this one, this is a little unique. After the show closed on Broadway, the creatives went back to the drawing board and said, we got a lot of great reviews. They didn't run a long time because the competition that year was a musical called Hamilton.
Oh, of course.
So they were not going to win the Tonys for anything. But they went back to the drawing boards, and they fixed it, nipped and tucked it a little bit. And so I suspect it should be pretty good. There really is not a difference anymore between the national tours and the Broadway originals, other than different people in them. The tours are built, the scenery and stuff are built to fit different size theaters. So
are they similar to the Broadway ones? I mean, when a Broadway producer is touring the show, it's going to look as close to the Broadway version as possible?
As close to the Broadway version as is physically possible to do. And, for example, when Hamilton was in Hartford last year, Hamilton looked no different than Hamilton on Broadway, other than the people in it.
Sure. And oftentimes they cast people who look like the people on Broadway, as far as I remember.
Well, I don't know. Now, Hello, Dolly comes to the Bushnell in November.
Gosh, who's playing that?
It's based on the Bette Midler production in New York.
Yeah.
It went out on tour. Betty Buckley was starring in the tour initially, and now it's Carolee Carmello.
Oh, she's a great... she's been on Broadway. She starred on Broadway.
She's incredible.
Yeah.
So the only difference in the Hello, Dolly from New York and the Hello, Dolly in Hartford will be the people in it are different.
But it's still a quality show.
Of course. I mean, it really is high quality.
So you've got SpongeBob tonight, and then are you seeing another show?
And then I go to Billy Elliot at Goodspeed tomorrow.
Billy Elliot, the old British musical. Listen to me, the old British musical.
The movie.
Oh, yeah, based on that great movie. And this was Elton John's musical, is that right?
That's correct. And it won all kinds of Tony Awards. It's being directed by Gabriel Barry, who directed Goodspeed's production of Sweeney Todd many years ago. He's probably one of the most talented directors around. He works on Broadway a lot and in regional theater, and I'm looking forward to that. And then I get a few days of no theater.
Yes.
And next weekend go to see the premiere of a new play called American Underground at Barrington Stage. So there's plenty out there to go see.
Wild. Sounds like you're back in the saddle, in the saddle, as we say.
Right, and I'm back to doing Arts Beat Radio on Friday morning.
Are you?
It's 8 o'clock on Friday.
So what's happening this Friday?
this Friday, I have Kate McGuire from Berkshire Theater Group.
Oh, she's terrific.
And she's terrific, always a great guest. And
Yeah.
then the following week, I've got Rob Rusciero from Theater Works.
Boy, you get all the big ones.
I try.
Yeah,
and
but
I love the new studio because it's giving me a chance to bring somebody in to the studio and talk with them for a full hour.
I love it too, and I love the idea that you can see us as well. Well, sometimes. I mean, I think I'm going to have makeup the next time. I'm looking at myself here in the thing, and look at those sad eyes of mine. I don't
know. I mean, I realize that I pre-taped 3 shows, and as I'm watching them, play out on YouTube afterwards.
Yes.
Stuff. I'm thinking, where was my hair and makeup person when I walked in that studio? But I got to say,
I don't have the budget for that, Mark. Sorry.
Oh, we need it. We
Peter doesn't
need.
have the budget because I'm real high maintenance.
I'm going to call Basha down at Vivid Beauty Salon, and she's going to come and do our makeup and our hair from now on. How about that?
Basha doesn't have time
the
for
one
that.
thing I got to say
Yeah.
is that the day that I came in, I taped 3.
Ooh.
And the crew were students at Westfield Technical Academy.
Yeah.
And they are so into what they're doing and so excited to have the opportunity to learn radio and television, which is not available in a lot of high schools around.
Oh, yeah.
Westfield has an incredible resource there, and I think that the collaborative of the television and Channel 15 versus WSKB
Right.
is really good for everybody.
Oh, it's so great. We're radio and television savvy here in Westfield, and we're thrilled. Hey, everybody, it's 8 o'clock. Marco, I got to kick you out, but I love having you back in the saddle, as we say, and I look forward to seeing you next month, and thank you so much. Appreciate it.
And we'll be talking to you next month, and hopefully I will get my body into the studio more.
I love it. And see you at Artsby Radio on Friday. Hey, everybody, today is the anniversary of the day that Janis Joplin recorded her last album. And I thought I'd play a very short clip. Peter, we're going to play the Happy song that Janis Joplin does.
Okay.
This is in honor of Kenny Stomsky, as well as John Lennon. It was John Lennon's birthday. So Pearl is the album that she recorded on this day in 1970, and she recorded this album. This is the song that Ken Stomsky plays every program, and this is Janis Joplin doing that old caveat song, Happy Trails. You won't believe the voice on this woman, and what a tragedy, but at the same time, we've got all of her music to listen to. Janis Joplin's Happy Trails. Happy Trails, everybody. Get out there and volunteer. See you next week, and I'll talk to you on Ken's show in a bit.
Am I on? Okay. Hi, John. This is Janice. We'd just like to wish you a very happy birthday and happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Happy trails to you till we meet again. Happy birthday, John, from the Hotel Boogie Band.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Barnes & Noble College Bookstore in the Ely Campus Center, offering Westfield State T-shirts.